What is a religion? A religion is a system of belief about God, soul, and world. Throughout history, seekers around the world have tried to understand the nature of things. They struggle to unravel the mysteries of the mind, of ultimate reality, and the purpose of life. They puzzled about the cause of suffering and the way to relieve it. They analyzed good and evil, virtue and vice. These quests for truth have produced various systems of thought. Those based on a belief in God or a holy presence are called religions or faiths. Today, there are about a dozen major religions in the world and hundreds of smaller ones. Of Earth's 7.4 billion people, 6 billion are followers of a religion. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Chinese folk religion, and Buddhism are the 5 largest. Many traditional cultures have ancient faiths. Most religions have sacred texts called scriptures. Hinduism's primary scriptures are the Vedas. Buddhists have the Dhammapada, Christians look to the Bible, and Muslims have the Quran. Scriptures and the teachings of saints through history define how life should be lived and what happens when we die. Each faith has its places of worship, priesthood, and holy rites. Religions are not all the same. Their beliefs and practices differ, often greatly. Of Earth's major religions, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism are Eastern. Judaism, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Islam are Western. There is a vast difference between Eastern and Western religions, with Eastern goals being unitive and introspective, and Western goals being dualistic, extroverted. Eastern faiths tend to see God in all things, and everything is sacred. Western faiths tend not to believe that God pervades everything, and make a strong distinction between what is sacred and what is profane. While Eastern faiths hold to karma, reincarnation, and liberation, the Western postulate a single life for the soul, followed by reward or punishment. And we have Gurudeva's quote. Religion is the connection between the 3 worlds, and temple worship is how you can get your personal connection with the inner worlds. Sounds very self-evident, right? What is religion? I was doing some research, of course, on the web, right? It's the only place you need to go for research. On the term religion. Oh, I searched, did a Google search first. Hinduism is not a religion. I searched on that. Well, how many results you think I got? 1,000,000, 100,000? 35 million results. A hot topic, right? 35 million results. Hinduism is not a religion. Of course, the other half of that is it's a way of life. So I took another chance. I searched on Christianity is not a religion. To my surprise, 115 million results, 3 times as many. So it's a hot topic, not only in Hinduism, but in other faiths as well. Somehow, what we are looking at as religion is not looked at as religion by lots of people. Then I looked at Wikipedia. It has some articles on religion, and I was surprised initially, but it made sense. You think about it. Some academics are arguing that the term religion has outlived its purpose and should be abandoned. So that's the academic world, the ivory tower, which isn't necessarily reflecting how most people look at things, but let's abandon the term religion. It's what we're doing no longer fits the definition. So of course, in terms of our lesson and in terms of how we look at things, it's not really, all of these ideas aren't really how most people look at it. It's like, it's there, but most people have the idea of religion, which is in the lesson there. A religion is a specific system of religious belief and practice. Very simple. There's different systems, and they have different names, and there's specific systems of belief and practice, which is nicely pointed out in the lesson. A number of years ago, I was doing research for another project. It was on the word Dharma, which is a topic in itself. For another day, academics have started calling certain things dharmic religions, which we won't get into today. To me, it's like calling something a karmic action. It's just using two languages to say the same thing. I was doing the research, and the research pulled out the point we're going to look at today. It's the Government of India census. Okay, it's right on the web. Government of India census. And question number 7 in the Government of India census is about religion. The Government of India census is in 16 different languages. Right there, you go through all 16 languages for each question. And for the English version, the word at the top is question number 7, religion. Write name of the religion in full. Also give code in box if found in the list below. For other religions, write name of the religion in full, but do not give any code. So there's 6 religions that have a number. That's the code. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Buddhist, and Jain are the 6 religions, and then if you're another religion, you have to write it in. So the reason I was doing the research was related to the word Dharma originally, but it's another point here. So if you look into the 15 Indian languages, 10 of them use the word Dharma or Dharm. Dharma in Hindi becomes Dharm, A drops off. So 10 out of 15 are calling religion Dharma or Dharm. 3 use the term Matam, which is interesting. And then 2 others use a less common term, which are hard to pronounce, and I don't want to pronounce them incorrectly. So the word in Tamil is Matam on the census. Wouldn't have expected that, but the word for religion in Tamil, Matam. So Matam, in our Tamil lexicon, first meaning is opinion or belief, and then the second meaning is religious tenet, sect or religion, same as Samayam. So then if you go to Samayam, it's a creed or religious system. So those are the 2 words in the Tamil lexicon that pop up for religion, Matam and Samayam. Well, the point being that, you know, the idea is there's a lot of discussion about things not being a religion in the modern world. And I think the lesson keeps it right on point that religion relates to God, soul, and world, and religion relates to a system of belief and practice. So it's, to me, still a valid term, and in Tamil we have matam and samyam as the words to reflect that. Then the lesson makes a second important point, which is religions are not all the same. And of course, everyone here today says, well, of course, religions aren't all the same, but that's not how the world looks at it, and particularly the Hindu world. I keep running into this question at satsangs, generally a couple times a year, question and answer period. I go through a long presentation on Hinduism, half an hour, 45 minutes, questions and answers, and then someone will say, well, aren't all religions basically the same? And of course they're kind of refuting my presentation, which is said something different, but they don't realize it. Not being, they're not trying to challenge me. They just, that's what they've learned, that all religions are the same. I developed a story on that based on an event in Chicago, visiting a house in a very exclusive gated community in Chicago, a very nice house, and the grandma, who's passed on since, the Sri Lankan family, the grandma who's passed on since was a regular donor to Yerevan Temple, very devout person. And we were there basically because of her, wanted to greet her. And we had 3 generations. We had her son was there, who's very active and also on Hindu Congress in Sri Lanka, even though he lives in the US, and his son, and they were both doctors. And so the grandson of the person we were visiting asked that question, aren't all religions pretty much the same? And I gave a simple answer at the time, which I don't remember, explaining that they weren't. And then I thought about it. I said, I need to give a better answer. So I came up with an answer specifically directed to doctors. I said, this will do it, this will do it. So I said, if you have, aren't all medical clinics the same? I said. And, well, if you have a flu, you can go to a medical clinic and they'll all be about the same. It doesn't really matter which clinic you go to. But say you have a heart problem, some kind of heart irregularity, and it's very painful and all. So you go to your local doctor. What will the local doctor do? He won't try and treat you, right? He'll send you to the hospital. And then what will the hospital do? It'll check on it, but if it's very serious, you have to go to a specialist hospital. In Hawaii, you have to fly to Honolulu. Because they don't have the expertise in the hospital here to handle it. So what is the point? Are all medical clinics the same? No, obviously they're not. You have specialist hospitals, you have regular hospitals, you have a simple clinic. So depending on your illness, you go to a different place. So that's similar to religion. If all you need is what's right and what's wrong, the basic ethics of life, what we should do and what we shouldn't do, it's in all religions. But if you want to learn to meditate, lots of religions don't teach meditation. if you want to learn to meditate deeply and realize that the essence of your soul is identical with God, only, where do you have to go? You have to go to a specific religion to learn that. So depending on what you need from the religion, they're quite different. That's the point. Just like depending on what you need from a doctor's office, they're quite different. So if you just have the flu, you can go anywhere. But if you have a heart problem, you end up in Honolulu. Likewise, virtue and vice, all religions teach about the same thing, but deep meditation, you have to go to only certain religions to learn that. So that was the story I developed. I never had a chance to tell the doctor in Chicago. But I've used it since. I tell the story, and I used it in London recently. And actually, there was a doctor in the group, in the satsang group, and he said, I've always been confused on that point. That's what he said. The Hindu idea is confusing two things. All religions are the same and all religions are good. What Hinduism really means is all religions are good. They're all helping us be virtuous people in theory, live a better life, so they're all good. Hindus don't mind that you're of another religion because it's benefiting you, it's benefiting the world. But they're not the same. It's very different. As the lesson says, their beliefs and practices are quite different. Then there's one last story. This one related to, is yoga a Hindu practice? We went to Parliament of World Religions in Melbourne. When was that? Any idea? Not too long.
2009?
2009, okay. Parliament of World Religions of Melbourne, and my participation was limited to the event on yoga. Was yoga a Hindu practice or not? And I gave a presentation and did some research. And this was one of the stories I came up with. 2001, a long time ago, the Reverend Richard Fair, vicar of St. Mary's Church in Henham, England, made a decision that became the talk of the Essex village and beyond. He banned a 16-strong group of yoga enthusiasts from taking lessons in his church hall. Yoga is, he said, an unchristian practice. I accept that for some people it is simply an exercise, but it is also often a gateway into other spiritualities, including Eastern mysticism. Nicely said, right? So that's the other type of point I make when this question comes up, aren't all religions the same, is that it's not just Hindus that think that way. It's, I'd say, liberal people in any religious tradition can think that way. But if you go to the Orthodox, the religious leaders, no way. Well, he's a good example of a religious leader. He says, no way. All religions aren't the same. And there's another story which I didn't want to take the time to tell, but it's on Islam. There was a committee in Malaysia that said about the same thing. For everyone in Malaysia, all Muslims, it said the same thing. Muslims should not be practicing yoga. There are other forms of exercise. Go bicycling. That's what it said. Right, and then I have another example too. But so the Orthodox in the various religions know this. So that's another way of making the point. Is it's known by people in various religions that all religions aren't the same, and they're particularly concerned about, the influence of the traditions of Hinduism coming in and changing things. As the article was Newsweek, was it, we're all Hindus now, something like that. So Hindu ideas are coming in and influencing things more than people realize, but the Orthodox see it. You know, they say, "Oops, that's Hinduism. It's different." So basically, all we're saying is that all religions, you know, if someone says all religions are the same, that, you know, that's not really the Hindu point of view. They're quite different. And mysticism is one of the big differences of personal experience. Thank you very much. 2 more lessons to do to catch up. Have a good day.